What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nathan, and on this planet we send it. And what we're going to be getting today, well, we're going to be finally putting in the worms into the final solution so that they're in their ultimate home and no longer need to transfer. So if you're a subscriber, you know what I'm talking about. It. But if for those who are here only for the unboxing video of the Hungry Bin, it's been a little process on getting here. But what I'm going to show you is why I put the Hungry Bin on my Christmas wish list that my wife ended up purchasing. And then after we unbox it, we'll assemble it. We'll go ahead and put the worms in. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm deviating from the instructions from starting a colony within the worm bin. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish up the video with talking about why I chose to go with the Hungry Bin. But anyways, I got a plan in place. Let's go ahead and send it. Okay, so what was on my Christmas wish list was the Hungry Bin. For those of you that are following along, the reason why I was wanting to change my worms into a different bin was because, well, a couple of reasons. Number one, the original containers that they were in were just absolutely falling apart. They had been in the sun for a few years and they were just deteriorating upon touch. So it was absolutely time to do it. And then a little bit later, a week or two later, after I did an inspection, I realized that the rain that we had basically flooded them out, and they were sort of fighting to survive. So I immediately moved them over to basically the bins to where they are now, which will probably be more capacity than this is able to hold, but we'll see. I'm actually pretty confident it will be. So when it gets to actually filling this up, we're going to might have to deviate slightly just based on my situation because I already got an established colony. But we'll see what they recommend. We'll see how we're going to deviate when we get to that point. But right now, let's go ahead and unbox it. Got a few tools here that I think I'm going to need. I'm not sure if I'm going to need any of them or if I'm going to need something else. Alright, looks like we got the main piece right here. I will say this box is not heavy at all. I forget exactly how much it weighs. I'll go ahead and put it, I'll put the amount to when I edit the video. But this is extremely simple. Looks like it comes in 4 parts. It comes with the main bin, it comes with these 2 stands. It comes with those 2 stands, and it comes with these rollers. So this is going to be super simple. I'm not seeing anything else in here, so we're going to go ahead and put this aside for now. I'm going to go ahead and open her up because I figured, yep, I would see more stuff in here. So we got something here that looks like I can compost this paper. We got the strainer, which I'm assuming goes to the bottom. This, I believe, is going to be what's holding everything up and allowing the leachate to drip through into this container. So we'll go ahead and put all these things to the side for now. This actually looks like it's holding something. Well, there's a rubber band on here. Okay, yeah, the rubber band was holding this. So let's see what's in here. All right, a couple of things. We'll put, feels like paper, maybe documentation. All right, let's see here. We got a manual in Spanish. I'm not sure what those languages are. It's at least Spanish, maybe otherwise, maybe some others that I'll have to double check. So if those are the other languages, I'm assuming this is going to be the one in English. And yes, okay. So looks like that one's probably in Spanish completely. And we have assembly instructions. We have how to start your Hungry Bin. And then we got the owner's manual. So we'll go ahead and we'll set all aside except for the assembly instructions. And we'll see what we need to do to assemble it. All right, I'm just verifying the parts that are all here. Lid, upper body, lower body. I need latches. Got our 2 latches. And it has an Allen key. Got our filter. Drip tray. The floor. The hex key. And yep, okay, we got everything. All right, first thing this recommends is connecting the wheels and the base. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, next it says to place the lower body upside down so that we can connect the clips on. All right, so you take the green piece here, so the green on green, and where the clip basically rotates on this hinge here, you put that hinge here towards the center so it goes right there, and you just push this down. Yep, there we go. Pretty simple. I didn't go to the clip on the last one, but now I did. All right, I'm gonna set you guys up for the next step. Really, this has been super easy. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the wheels on to the base and assemble that, and then it looks like everything else just kind of falls into place. So be done here in just a second. All right, let me just verify my alignment here. As suspected. So the wheels are going on the same side as the clips. Okay, that's pretty simple. The next thing is to go ahead and clip on the collection tray. It's a lot simpler. You basically just drop it in there and all right, maybe they didn't actually show that part, but it appears to be maybe the next step. So I'll go ahead and just clip this on here. I may have clipped it on backwards. It's probably my luck. Oh, no, I didn't. It's so simple I can do it. All right. So it looks like you got two sides on here. You got ones that kind of keep everything in place. Those are, I'm assuming, go down. Let me see if there's any guiding instructions here. Doesn't appear so. But that's the only way that really makes sense. It's just to drop it in like that. So I made it a lot more difficult than it really was. All right, I'm going to pull you guys back out so you can see the final assembly. Let's go ahead and give you guys a profile view. It looks like the only thing we do really is just clip on the top, but I'm going to go ahead and read the instructions and double check. And all we do is just clip on the top. Okay, in here they have these like teeth that look like that they're gonna grip onto these holes when they go in there. So all you do is just push down just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Actually, the whole thing just sunk right into place. So showing you that one, literally all the others went in, and I'm lifting the whole thing up. So that was super simple. Let's go ahead and turn this forward to you guys. So how this is gonna sit, and this can go anywhere where you choose. This can even go into the kitchen, which, to be honest, I think I'm going to start this off in the kitchen and just get a feel for if it brings off any smell, so sort of like a review. But I think in the end, it's probably going to end up outside, similar to the location to where I had my other bins. But for now, what I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to read the instructions on how to go ahead and start the bin. And then I'm going to go ahead and figure out how I'm going to deviate, because I already have a colony, I already have the bedding in there, everything in there. So I need to compare how they are recommending to start the colony to what I already have to see. Maybe there'll be some compatibility issues, for lack of a better term. But I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I just want to recap real fast. This was super simple to assemble, absolutely self-explanatory. I just was going through the directions to be a little bit methodical since I'm doing an unboxing video, but absolutely could do this without instructions. And the only tool I needed was my pliers to go ahead and remove the metal staples. The Allen wrench was go ahead and assembled everything else, which was only just tightening the wheels to the stand itself. So, just to recap, I'm going to briefly cover, just to briefly cover what they wanted you to do. This is designed to be started with fresh worms, no prior real compost, not a colony already started. So what I'm going to talk about is what they recommend, and then I'm going to talk about what I'm going to have to do and maybe some mitigating steps that I'm going to have to do later on since I already have a colony started. So real fast, they want you to do about 80 liters or 75% of the container with fresh compost soil, so that kind of acts like as their bedding for them to go in. Then they want you to go ahead and put 2,000 worms along, on the next layer. And they want you to water them a little bit because for those of you know, if you bought worms, usually they arrive a little bit dehydrated and small too sometimes, which is normal. So it's a good idea to go ahead and water the worms to help hydrate them and revive them. And then in about a day or two, they're up to sort of like full strength. So that's why they recommend to water it. Then they want you to put a little bit of food scraps in there and to go ahead and cover them with some newspaper or go ahead and cover them with some cardboard. Now, that's what they recommended to you, but that's not what I'm doing. The deviation that I'm going to go ahead and accept the risk on is I already got a colony going. They already have been making worm castings. So what I'm going to be doing, and since I was trying to save them because they almost were like drowning in the rain due to the poor drainage, what I'm going to do is put it all the way in here to about 80%. What I'm anticipating, I'm going to fill it up to 80% so I have about some room to go ahead and keep feeding them. What I'm anticipating is there was already food and cardboard in there for the worms to eat. Probably the first, 6, 7, maybe 8 batches is going to have some cardboard in there. Once it starts becoming a lot less and starts becoming primarily just worm castings, then I'm going to start using that. But since I'm doing it differently, I anticipate the first few harvests I pull from this, I'm probably going to have to recycle back in there, or at least just understand I'm probably going to be putting some cardboard into the garden, and to be honest, that won't really hurt it anyways because the worms love the cardboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my worms, I'm going to go ahead and throw them in, and then I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like once I have them all in there, and where it's going to end up in my kitchen. And then we'll go ahead and close out the video with me talking about why I was asking for this in the first place. That's impressive. Let me just show you something real fast. I fit all of this into here, and I'm only to about here. Let me take you in and show you real fast. That's how much space I still have after putting that whole container in here. I definitely have enough space for the other one, and I think I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there. Bring you guys in here real fast. So now I'm up to about the 80% now. After I go ahead and smooth this over, that's where I'm anticipating I'm going to go ahead and end up. So they're in here. So everything's a little damp. So hopefully this will be a lot better of an environment for them now, and they'll go ahead and thrive. So I don't know how long my wife is going to actually let me keep this here. She's out right now, so it's going to be interesting when she gets back. We'll see. But, I will say there's some good reason to keep it here, to be honest. Number one, right now it does not smell. For those who saw me extract the worms from where they used to live, putting the cardboard in there to kind of absorb the water definitely created a lot better environment. Everything's at the right moisture now, a lot better than where they were. So, going back to what I was saying though, if we, instead of putting our food scraps into a compost, surrogate to where we put it in there and then we bring it out to the worm bins or maybe to the compost bin, we can just throw it on in here. Easy. Now, it's a little bit bigger than my other, trash cans. This is actually the previous trash can that we're using. But, you know, it's pluses and minuses. You know, but that kind of brings me to why I had asked my wife to purchase it. So let me just say something real fast. My original setup was around $30, $40, maybe $50. This is $345. My wife might have got a better deal on it, but that's at least my quick search on it. So this is an investment. Now I'm going to talk about things on why I thought it was an investment, but over to, you know, a good investment, but over to you if you think it's, you know, worth spending the money. Number one, all the reviews said it was good, solid, you know, plastic, and I agree. I think they even say it's a food grade plastic. So cool. I like the design on, you know, the sturdiness of it. I will say it's pretty sturdy. The wheels, if I do need to move it out, you know, I'll be able to wheel it outside or maybe even wheel it out into the garage, you know, depending on the time of the year. But, you know, what I liked is how the design, as, you know, once I get the system up and running and the worms, you know, basically the only thing at the bottom is the worm castings themselves. Well, the theory behind it, at least the advertisement states that since it funnels down, the worm castings will sort of compress and create a less hospitable environment for the worms. So when you do harvest from the bottom, there will be almost no worms. And at least, I'm sure it's not going to be 100% out, and maybe there's going to be some more worms in there. But the fact that I'm not going to now have to spend one day to harvest worm castings is going to be critical. And I'll be able to harvest it more frequently instead of doing all my bins at once. And when I was originally doing it, it would take me like a day to basically push back, you know, harvest some of the worm castings in the sun, allow the worms to go back down, harvest some more, worms go back down, and that would take just about a day. So the time saving that this is going to allow me to basically apply that time to other things. And so that was the main reason on why, and it looks a lot better than my other setup too, but the time savings is why I thought this was a good investment for my garden and on my homestead and for my household. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. You know, I'll be upfront. If I have any problems with it, I'll go ahead and do a video immediately. But if nothing else happens, at a minimum, I'll go ahead and do a 1-year review of this product and let you guys know, you know, what my thoughts are up until that point. But so far, you know, since I've had it into the kitchen and everything, no smell. I mean, everything's real good. I'm really pleased with this purchase so far, and I'm glad that my wife ended up picking that up for me for my Christmas list. And yeah, we'll see how they do, and then definitely at the 1-year review, I'll talk about, you know, like how many harvests were necessary to go ahead and get it to where I was getting just pure worm castings. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.